Welcome in or welcome back. Um, so today we're going to be doing some channeled messages, ironically enough, and we're going to be pulling cards. But ironically enough, here was the news, one of the news that popped up, articles, whatever, last night. The science of channeling, cutting edge research on what channeling is and how it happens. So that's interesting. Okay, and then we got live updates. Trump says U.S. will start escorting ships through Strait of Hormuz. Funny enough, right before I saw this, I felt something shoot into my root chakra. It was like, how do I explain this? If you've ever felt like your nerves go on fire or something, it was almost like that. It's like a pinprick, but like way more intense. That's how it felt. Like something was entering me, but like a pinprick. Yeah. So I used my scissors to cut the cord and said, "Fuck you." So, yeah. I know somebody was saying that I really need to stop swearing because like if they're listening to this and there's like little kids around, but you know what? Sometimes that it really is the only words that can be used for the situation. Okay? What needs to be taught is how to swear properly. First of all, if you're a young child or a teenager, you should not be swearing. Point blank period. Unless it's like a dire situation, like somebody's really messing up. Okay, then like a little kid saying like "what the fuck" or some shit like that could be like actually like really make somebody like question themselves, because they'll be like, what? Like a little kid saying that? I must really be messing up, you know? So I don't know, like my kids don't swear, at least not around me. I know my oldest has started doing that, like in his little chats with his friends. But they definitely don't swear around me. And anytime they have, I correct them and say, you know, like, you shouldn't be swearing. It just sounds gross, like coming from a little kid. Okay? It ain't right. It ain't right. But like I said, if it's in a certain circumstance, then it could actually be an effective way of communication. Even for adults, it really goes both ways. But with adults, sometimes it's like a little more necessary, especially when you're talking about like stuff like this, you know. All right. Anyway, so that's that. Next, okay, so let's see here. Alright, so then I had a really messed up dream last night, so I'm assuming maybe this has something to do with this whole escorting ships through. Okay, so like, first of all, I pulled some cards last night before I had the dream. And we got asteroid heading towards Earth again, which basically I've noticed now anytime that I'm feeling like really depleted, like I'm done and extremely fed up and like nobody's in my corner and stuff like that, that's when this happens. I'll see it on the news, asteroids coming towards Earth, and then since I've gotten this deck and started pulling from it, now we got this coming out every so often. And then funny enough, oh, come on, man, Jesus, I'm not in the mood today. It sounded like somebody was messing with my door, but they weren't. I guess maybe it was the wind, but I really don't even feel a breeze coming through here. Because my door kind of moves, like, with the wind, because there's a hole in my door. I explained that a while back. Okay. Dang. Yeah, I'm in a mood today, man. I really am. I've been in a mood the past couple days. But I'm just tired, you know. My kids just constantly, my older one's just constantly giving me attitude. My youngest is a total sweetheart. Like, He has his moments very rarely from time to time where he can get demon possessed or whatever, but for the most part, he's a total sweetheart. My other two, they're teenagers. They're total brats to me most of the time, and it's just so hard to deal with because it's like they're just brainwashed and conditioned, and like it's like if I was a man, if I had a schlong hanging between my legs, they'd be front and center, attention, like, they would, like puppies with their paws up, like. But since I don't, it's like, who the fuck do you think you are, bitch? So they don't actually like talk to me like that, like those exact words, but their attitudes, their tones do. My middle son was talking to me like that at one point, but he chilled out with that for the most part. All right, hold on a sec. And it's really like, not like, the reason why I'm sharing is because, like, okay, throat chakra stuff going on. Spirit does not want me to explain myself. All right, I'm not going to. Fuck it. All right. All right, I don't know what was I saying? Okay, so we got this asteroid heading towards Earth crap again. Forgot to pass them. Okay, we got asteroid heading towards Earth. Forgot to pass the information along. That song is on the radio again. I'm thinking it's talking about the feelings that I'm getting. And then, like, whatever I'm feeling, it's like my soul tribe and stuff. Like, that's, how it is for anybody. They get affected as well. And then that can cause, depending on your vibration, your connections to this plane of existence, and activating certain measures and protocols. That's what can determine that, okay? I just find it crazy because, I really don't want to keep talking about Deadeye and all that because, like, it's just like beating a dead horse at this point, like, shit can only go so far before it's like, the person just doesn't even acknowledge your existence. So it's like, okay. But I don't really care, but at the same time, it just keeps getting brought up. But after this, I'm just going to be done. I'm not going to talk about them anymore. So I just find it crazy because, like, I don't know what episode it was of the podcast, the Near Death Diary podcast, but they were saying, like, the Hellfire Boys preventing an asteroid from coming towards Earth again. This was, like, when he was, like, covertly, like, talking to me, or, like, more openly, I would say. Because, like, literally, like, everything he was saying was, like, crazy in sync with what was going on in my reality and what I was putting out. Okay? I mean, it still kind of is, like, what he's doing, but it's just, I'm not feeling it. Like, there's, like, a lot of negativity there. I don't know what exactly is, like, behind everything, but I'm just getting this, like, really icky feeling that it's, like, just a lot of game playing, a lot of manipulation or something. And I just don't like the way that I'm feeling about any of it. I also just don't like, putting myself out there. I'm being very vulnerable, in all of this, and then I'm not getting any real reciprocation. And then it's like, it's like embarrassing, but I also don't care at the same time. I think I've made that abundantly clear. I'm not a little fucking cowardly bitch, so yes, like being vulnerable is scary, but like being brave is like you face your fears, even if you're shitting your pants. Okay? That's called being a big boy or a big girl. Alright, anyway, so then we got Smoke came out. And now this could be just me having unhealed trauma and like that just getting brought up, but I'm also feeling like this, it's just bringing back just these feelings of like someone's gonna be like calling me delusional and like, you know, making fun of me, and like I just don't like it. Alright, uninvited guest. So the smoke, well, the first thing I got when I pulled the smoke was like, we're bringing the smoke. Asteroid's coming to Earth. We're done. There's an uninvited guest. We're not playing these fucking games anymore. We never got the invitation. Long-awaited invitation in reverse. The carrots keep getting dangled and nothing's really there. Everyone else keeps going to these parties and... Don't want me to talk. You don't want me to say this? Okay. Well, I'm gonna fucking say it. Also didn't drink any water today. Maybe I should do that. Hold on. Alright. So, whatever. With the parties, I don't really care, but I just keep hearing, you know, about people going to all these parties, and then every time I go out in the public, it's like people talking about, oh, we just, you know, we're closing on the house next week, you know, how was the wedding? Oh, it was great. And it's like, why do you get to enjoy your life while I'm in fucking hell, bitch? Like, I know that my dharma is way better than yours just by fucking looking at you. Okay? Then we got police investigation in the reverse. So it's like, the police are not investigating anymore. We're not doing that. We're done. There's no invitation. We're not having fun. The police aren't investigating. Like, nobody gives a fuck. So guess what? And then we got prisoner of war, which is what I feel like. That keeps coming out. And I know a lot of people feel like that. Then we got cheater, but originally this came out in the reverse, and it came out with these exact other cards. Deaf person and pilot, which if you know the whole thing with the pilots and the Medusa head. I'm not really sure what's up with that. But I know at one point they said the deaf person was the runner-up in this, like, World Cup series or whatever. Because I know, like, the deaf family that lives around me, like, I've explained their story a little bit and, like, how I got involved in it somehow. And it's like, I know that that lady is going through absolute HE double hockey sticks, like, to the max. And she's still going. But, like, I don't really know her like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really know her intentions. I've suspected she's, like, a snitch. I've seen her, like, what appears to be spying on me and, like, giving me evil eye. So we pulled entity / someone wishes death physical upon the person / entity inquiring about. Okay, yeah, so that's probably why she's the runner-up. Alright, and then, so I think the cheater was supposed to be in reverse, but also I think it's talking about somebody else that's cheating, which this came up with the prison guard, because we're all basically prisoners here. We're all prisoners here of our own device, right? That's, what song is that? I don't know. We are all just prisoners here of our own device. Oh, Hotel California, yeah. So, Then we got Slowpoke in reverse and the astronaut. So the astronaut's going to be pulling the plug or whatever is what I'm getting with that. They're not going to be slow like this Knight of Pentacles that's taken forever. I'm not fucking waiting for them anymore. I'm done. Okay, now we're going to move on to the channeled messages that are a little more interesting than this. So yesterday's was, I took a nap during the day. I was feeling extremely burnt out, and I was watching the Intuitive Heart Lady. Hold on, let me see. I don't know, it was one of these videos, I think. Yeah, I don't think there's any other ones. Someone's trying to block me from giving this message right now. Oh my god. Archangel Gabriel, please enact code Mr. Brown on whoever's messing with my energy right now. Oh my god. Hold on. Alright, I don't have the energy to battle freaking entities right now. Trying to get in my crown chakra. It's extremely annoying. Which, by the way, this is a neat little trick. So, I kind of figured this out. I don't know if you need to be purified for it to really work, but because like I've been cleansing myself pretty steadily. I'm definitely not perfect with my cleansing. Like I had creamer, what is it? Oat milk creamer, and it has like natural flavor in it, which I've said like I was told that's like baby fetus, but then I like pulled on it and it said it's not. That's just something like I heard in the grapevine or whatever. But, it's not like, I like the pure stuff. Like, if you can get, like, the coconut milk that has just, like, coconut and, like, salt in it, sea salt or whatever, then that's, that's obviously better than just use your own sugar, like, for coffee. But I went to across the street to the butcher / market, and that's all they had, so that I didn't feel like going to the grocery store. And my car's like like every time I turn it on, I'm like, oh my god, like it's gonna like blow up. So so we're not trying to drive really, like, the least amount we can. Alright, where were we? Oh, so wearing a shawl overhead, some kind of covering overhead, you like tie it while you're sleeping, and then an eye mask that covers your third eye as well as your eyes can really help for you to actually be able to remember your dreams, so that like when you're waking up and stuff, and also while you're dreaming, you're not getting attacked as much. You're not able to get attacked, you're not able to get MIB'd, deneuralized as easily. Because that's what they do. They deneuralize you, I think, as soon as you wake up. So if you have the eye mask on, it prevents that. So I was able to remember my dreams pretty vividly yesterday and last night. I didn't even think about that. That's the deneuralizer. Huh. Okay. Yeah, because like Rion from Unite the Collective was describing it as like people tackling him when he's waking up, and they're like, no, you can't remember yet. But like what I think it actually is they're deneuralizing people when they wake up. Alright, so anyway, and then okay, so I was watching this video and then I fell asleep. So like I guess also people are saying like if you fall asleep or you're watching something, it's because you're going into a trance. Because I wasn't fully asleep, but I was like in a trance state, I guess. And it was like, she's like hella psychic. I can just tell. And, I went into this dream state where I was in like a prison, and it was like the front area of a prison, I guess, where you could like have kind of like visitation, but it wasn't like where there's glass and stuff, and like you sit on one side and they sit on the other. It wasn't like that. It was like just like a narrow rectangular room. And my kid's father was there, and I was there with my youngest son, our youngest son, and he was like, you know, trying to play with him or like hug him or whatever, kind of chased him out into the hallway. And I ran after, and I was like, no, like, please don't, because then they won't let you go. Like, it's like I was really on edge because I wanted him to be released, and I was, like, freaking out about it. Like, I didn't want anything to go wrong, and I was, like, really worried that, like anything could go wrong. Like, I didn't want anything to go wrong. So, anyway, then I brought him over by, like, back into the rectangle room. And I was just sitting next to him, and like, I was like putting my head on him, and like we're able to like hold hands, and it was just like, it felt like heaven. Well, before that actually, or maybe it was after, I'm not sure. No, I think it was before that. So it was like before my son ran out into the hallway, before he like chased him out. He had a deck of tarot cards, and he was like showing me, which I thought was weird. But it reminded me of the story I shared yesterday or 2 days ago with Robert Sheehan's book with the rose, and then how it's like a team and they're sending them down on the rose. And so it almost felt like it was like, because he didn't play with tarot cards, you know, like at all or anything. So it almost felt like it was like one of the team members, so to speak, okay? But just like wearing his face. Like they're all like the same person, but it's like, you know what I mean? And he asked me to pull a card, and I was like, no, I'm not pulling a card. Like, I was very like adamant on like not doing anything that was going to get me put in any kind of tricks or anything like that. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. And then he pulled some cards anyways for me, I guess, but I don't remember what they were. And then the thing with my son happened, and then I pulled him back in, and then we're sitting there, and I was like holding his hand, or we were holding hands, and then he said something like, we're going to Bel Air. And I was like, what? And then I came back into reality, and then I heard this lady, I heard her in one of these videos. My nose is so itchy. Oh, so maybe it was this one. I'm not sure. Oh, that was Saturday. You know. So it was one of these. She said it's like she could feel what I was feeling. And she's like, oh, wow, I haven't felt that in, like, a really long time. Like, she was saying, like, she hasn't sensed that energy, that connection in the stratosphere in a really long time. Which is true. That he's been dead for 8 years. I haven't been with anybody who's made me feel like that. So, so anyway, so I thought that was weird. And then what else? Okay. And then alright, and then we got a lot of stuff here. So one of the other things I wanted to bring up was the moth thing with the moth from yesterday with Robert Sheehan. The Mothman and all of that, and the Red River moth that we brought up. Two things, okay? First thing is, and then I'm going to share my other dream that I had last night, okay? Which is very informational. So it might really help someone out there. So if you care, stick around. So I found it interesting because this guy, Castle Hard, he has like 2 channels. This guy, the Kaz guy, he's like Kaz Breaker from Shadow and Bone, but he also reminds me of like 2 people I used to be friends with. He has like the same hands as like that Blaze guy that I've talked about, and then he also slightly reminds me of someone I used to date like a really long time ago that was a total douchebag. He just kind of like has the same face shape as him. He wasn't like the worst guy in the world, but he was like, he really immature. Like he was just really fucking stupid. He was being stupid. But anyway, that guy mainly reminds me of Kaz Breaker from Shadow and Bone. And then also, you know, when I first came across him was when I was first going through this awakening. It was funny because I clicked on his thing and he's like, oh, she finally put down the sub sandwiches. Because I was like eating sub sandwiches a lot, like turkey subs and stuff. And I thought that was funny because I was like, I had just started eating, like, cutting out the meat and shit, you know? And he reminded me of Vlad, which is what my child's father wanted to name our child that I ended up having to give up via unaliving, right? Which is, you know, highly disturbing for me to talk about, and I don't want to talk about it. But I will say, for some reason, this guy reminded me of him. And then I find it so crazy that he started pulling these Vlad the Impaler cards, and I was like, what the fuck? And then one of his videos recently was 2 days ago so when did I realize this? I think I realized this yesterday. The connection with the Red River Moth and Robert Sheehan's book. He had posted Red River. Whenever I had posted the Moth thing, I think he had posted whatever this video was that was titled Red River like 2 days before, and I was like, what the fuck? So he's really psychic too, or he's CIA, CERN, I don't know. Whatever. I'm pretty sure he's psychic. He seems like a real person, but I'm not. Excuse me. Oh, a lot of releasing there. Whatever. Anyway. Alright, so with the... Let me see. Alright, so let's look up river. He says something like, I was the river once, and I'll be the river again. He talks about rivers a lot. Like river reeds. Some of the boys sway from side to side. Like river reeds. I do not like the sound of it when the music is on and he is very drunk. That's the story house in the country, the one with the date for April 8th, the one that with the earthquake that I talked about. The 4.8 magnitude earthquake. How I'd put that as my password to try to manifest justice for children that have undergone schmexual abuse. I just don't want to say that word right now. By the way, I also want to talk about this. I think there's some type of thing going on. This is not easy for me to talk about. It's like very creepy, but I want to say this, or I need to say it, okay? If you're ever out in public and you sense something weird about somebody, like a child, a teenager, an adult, whatever, where you could sense like sexual energy, right? Especially I'm saying like if it's a child, or you sense it coming from an adult that's like around it. I don't know. With adults, it's different, I guess. But if you can sense that with a child, you need to call on, like, the archangels and stuff, like, if you actually give a shit. Because there's a lot of, I've noticed it's a lot coming from, like, children and teenagers that are in sports. And then today I saw, like, a high schooler walking, and there was, like, an old man, like, creeping, like, almost, like, right behind him walking. And there's been a lot of old people out lately. A lot of them. I think because they were siphoning, like, off of my energy and anyone who's connected to me's energy. And since we've been cutting them off, or at least I have been, I mean, people are claiming they are too, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm assuming maybe they are because of what I've been seeing and experiencing. But I think that could be why there's so many old people out now all of a sudden. Because their, like, life force is getting cut off. Because they're, like, vampires. Energy vampires or whatever. Yeah. But anyway, whatever archangel is the archangel of the day, you can do that. You can also just, like, whatever you subscribe to that you feel can connect you to your higher self, to where you can access your command center, your motherboard, your spaceship, whatever, then do that. Whatever works for you. Your dragon, your alien command center, whatever, works for you. I personally do like doing the archangels. Sometimes I use my dragons. It depends. It seems like the more you do it, the more effective it is. I think it also, you have to be in your true self mode. You can't be out of alignment in order for it to work. You can't access your higher dimensional self if you're not in alignment with your higher dimensional self. At least to some extent, or to the most extent that you can be. Right? Okay. So let's see here. 2 rodents on the flank ran off both ways up the river path, screeching on paws. Oh, God. The old elders by the river's edge. Muffled screams. Yeah, a lot of these stories are really fucked up. Like the river, I could stare at it forever. I was them both once, and I will be again. And will be again. Yeah, that's the line. Hold on. Jeez. Alright. Hey, I love this book so much. It's so good. Wait, where is it though? Let me see. He was the worst. You could always rely on him for that, but the old house does be quiet without him. Scab looked knackered, lying by the hearth in the orange glow, like a faded bloodstain on the rug, dead still as the fire flickered down to coals. I could always rely on the fire to bring me back to myself. Like the river, I could stare at it forever. I was them both once, and will be again, I'd say. The 2 of us were flaked, or maybe Scab was playing it flaked because he was hardwired to follow in the footsteps of his flesh and blood. It was hard to say. I knew feigning. I had to feign plenty enough. I knew it to be a performance fueled only by contempt, but with Scab, I couldn't call... It's motherfucker a genius, bro. Genius. Layered. Layers upon layers. Yawning, I kept my eye on the box and had some more thoughts to help wash away the heavy ones I'd had cycling home after them nasty youths put me in an unnecessarily evil state of mind. That's how I've been feeling this morning. My son talking so much smack. The nasty youths. They're so nasty, these youths out here. I've been soured by those weasels despite my best efforts. Their poisonous smoke. Oh, look, smoke. had coiled its way into my brain, probably mine and Scab's both, because if I was plotting his murder on the bike, Scab was no doubt plotting mine behind in the backpack. It stands to reason. We were one who had become two only about 10 minutes before. Yeah, he like picked a scab and then it like became alive. He was talking something about, I haven't read this book in years, but like he was talking something, I think, about copycats, like people being clones and copies of yourself. And also maybe perhaps he was touching on reincarnated versions in the same timeline, though. Like, I've talked about that before many times, how you could die in the past and then be reincarnated into this present. I don't know, whatever. Anyway. Or like the whole David thing that I've explained, how he like passed away, at least what I believe was him, because it looked pretty much very similar to him, and same name and energy signature from what I can tell. Passed away in this same time frame or whatever, time zone, time period, and then was reborn. I don't know how old the David is. That was my kid's father's cousin. I don't remember, but was basically born the same time that that other version of himself was born, and then so they were coexisting at the same time without knowing. That's why a lot of people are like, oh, this person's my doppelganger, they look just like me, and stuff like that. Okay. So I know he talks about that concept, and I'm not 100% sure if it's this story. I think it is. Scab protected me from their infection as best it could and went above and beyond the call of family duty. And now that the old man is gone, maybe having Scab around doesn't have to be a bad thing. The feeling of it there, asleep by the hearth. Maybe cohabitation can be sweet if it's with your real flesh and blood. That's when it hit me, the perfect olive branch. Sleep there on the floor by the hearth, Scab. I will figure it all out for us tomorrow. I stared at it, daring it to move. Scab gave a small ripple around its edge to signify it heard. Satisfied, I stretched my arms above my head and walked out of the sitting room smiling, even though the head was still pounding. This whole book is just so trippy. It's like a total mindfuck trip. Alright. Anyway, so, you know, I just found that very interesting. You know, the correlation. It's like, is he Mothman, or is... Because, like, then there's the whole thing with Deadeye, and which, by the way, we're not going to talk about him anymore after this. Unless, you know... y'all know. You know, if... yeah. So, okay. What else? So my next note on here, before I talk about the dream, I watched an interview, that interview with Deadeye. I put it in my enlightenment videos on my playlist. It's the one with To Be Better or whatever. The tattoo artist guy. And it was from like a year ago. And it was just crazy, all the shit he was saying. I was like, what is this? Like, all the symbolism that lined up with everything I've been talking about. And I'm like, what is this crap? So it's like talking about the lion's mane mushroom, which I didn't know. That's like what saved his health. Which I was going to get some at not my local ShopRite, but this other one has it. But it didn't look too fresh, so I was like, but I do have this, like, powder of, like, all these different mushrooms, and I'm pretty sure lion's mane's in it. I haven't been taking it regularly, though. But I definitely need, if that shit really helps with nerve damage, I have so much nerve damage. I need to start doing that. So anyway, thank you for that. Okay, cool. Now, I found it so interesting, though, when he said that, and then I was thinking about the little Lego figurine that I found. You know, that I basically created. Because, like, I was, like, trying to figure out who I was going to put in my Medusa head as my Medusa ship as my pilot. And I found this Lego kit for Alex, but I didn't like the way the body looked, so I went in my child's toy bin and I found like purple Joker pants. I thought that was fitting. And then, you know, I found this shirtless outfit, and it was like the first things I found too, like literally like the first things I pulled, pretty much. If I don't exactly remember, but I know it was like, it's not like I was digging around. I was trying to find something else because I didn't like how the skin color is yellow and then the face is like white. I was like, what is that? But it has a lion thing on the freaking arm. Come on. Focus. Whatever. And you know, and these weapons were meant to be for defense only, okay? Oh my god, I can't get it. I'm trying to like put it back. Alright. And so, and again, you know, the Alex thing is like, Alex is the protector of mankind, but also like everything that man stands for and how he presents himself, how freaking brilliant he is. He really is like a superhero, okay? So like, I don't mind having him on my shelf. You know what I mean? Like, it's not meant to be anything creepy. It's not. Like, I'm not trying to be, like, a freaking fangirl or anything like that. Alright. So, just like, Elect of the Living Dead, which I'm not... Living Dead, I said. The Living Dead? What? We are talking about zombies a lot. The Living God, like, said, you know, he's like, these people, he's talking about somebody saying how, like, they were trying to say that, like, someone in the collective's a groupie, or, like, he's a groupie. He's like, bitch, I got my own groupies. Like, get the fuck out of here. So, but, I'm not saying I have groupies, but I'm just saying, like, I'm my own groupie, okay? I don't need groupies. I'm my own groupie. So, like, I'm not gonna be anybody else's groupie. Alright? But, so, oh, and I'm not mad at, I'm not mad at Elect of the Living God. No, that was right. I was saying Elect of the Living God, and then I thought I was saying it wrong. I was supposed to say Living Dead. That kind of sounds cooler, though. I'm not mad at him anymore, but he's like, he's a hot mess. Not a hot mess, I won't call him that, but he is so eccentric, which, you know, I am too, so I get it. It's just, he's a trip, man. He's a real trip. He mind fucks the shit out of people. Like, I just find it hilarious, because, like, I think, like, pretty much the same way as him, like, with a lot of stuff, but then a lot of this stuff, I'm like, oh my god, like, you need to calm down. But I say that to myself sometimes too, so like, let's not. Okay. Alright, anyway, what else? So then in the interview, he's talking about the whole experience. Hold on. Oh my god, like, kid freaking coming in the house, like, literally like a stampede from Jumanji, bro. Like, trampling, like, boom, 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 boom. Like, what are you doing? Alright. My nerves are shot. My nerves are fucking shot. Alright. I'm proud of myself, though, for maintaining my cool. Because back in the day, I was like, I'll be bugging. At this point, I'd be bugging, because it's been, like, now, like, a week straight of getting disrespected, treated like ass. And usually around this time, I would end up freaking the fuck out and being like, going like, I want to say Hitler, but like, I would just be, maybe like that Truther777 guy. If you guys know, you know, like he like rips on people daily. He is brutal. He also reminds me of one of my dead friends. It actually reminds me of two of my dead friends. He reminds me of the Blaze character as well, but not just the hands like the other guy. He reminds me of like the personality, because Blaze was kind of like that. And then, but also like, he's like a mixture of Blaze and this other friend I used to be friends with named Spank. He used to make pork chops all the time when he come to my house. But he was like a bit of a douchebag. Like he would be. But it was funny. But anyway. Alright. So he was talking about the basement and like how after he got shot, he was like so scared and like he had to stay in the basement. And I found that very interesting because of my whole situation with being stuck in a basement. For me, it was like a Cinderella kind of situation going on with the wicked stepmother and the two wicked stepsisters. And then my dad was basically never there because he worked during the week, 2 jobs, and he would stay, and it was like an hour and a half away, or maybe like actually like an hour away. And he would stay at his sister's house and his dad's house during the week, so he'd only be around on the weekend, and then they would treat me and my kids like shit the whole time. And then he would come back and treat me like shit as well. Maybe not my kids though, he wouldn't treat them like shit. Alright, and then he was talking about how he was scared to look out windows, which I found interesting because on my GhostCom Pro app that I used for many years since I worked at my last job, which was like 2014. It was like 2014 or like 2017-ish. Maybe like 2018. I worked there, and anyway, so it was a long time ago, and I used that app up until recently, and it would like say things like that nobody could know. It was like literally reading my mind. It was like somebody was talking through it. I've explained this before with how I found it interesting with the reading I did with the ghost stomping again. So, oh my god. I need to go to the spa. I need to go to the gym today. Okay. I can't. I'm just like, I can't with this shit. Goose Fraba. Alright, so it kept saying to me, look in the mirror and look out the window. I didn't know what the hell it was talking about. So I made a poem about it though at some point. Look into the mirror and then look out the window. Does the love inside of you flow or so? I don't know. It's somewhere on my page. It's a pretty good poem in my opinion, but I found that interesting. And then it would always say the name Alex all the time. I don't think I finished my thought that I was saying before because I got interrupted again. But I was trying. If I didn't, I'm just gonna say it now because I have fucking horrible ADD. I was trying to bring up how with the reading I did with the ghost girl, ended up being a love reading with the ghost and the Mothman. It said one of the traits of the Mothman was the true master from the Sims 4 game, and that includes being able to, let's see if we can find it. It's something about being able to like project project like a being or something to be able to socialize with somebody who's lonely, okay? So to be, or even to yourself, to be able to like do that so that you can fulfill your social need. So that, I'm not gonna look it up. I'm not gonna look for the card. It's gonna take me forever. So yeah. So anyway, it kept saying. Is that someone knocking on my door now? I swear to God, today is just, I don't know. Today's Archangel Gabriel's day, and like if you've watched Supernatural and stuff, isn't he the one that's like mischievous and like does all kinds of fuck shit? He's supposed to be protecting the children, but like obviously he's not doing a good job, so like there's something up with him. And then there's the whole thing with the moon. Like, everybody's mad at the moon. He's in charge of the moon, right? It's like, what's up with him? Was he taken? Like, there is the whole thing I've mentioned with, like, people doing moon magic all the time. And then there's certain beings who have it in their midheaven or the Imam Coeli. And then if you do, and then you're being, like, controlled and manipulated, then that can affect the whole grid. So, and in turn, I guess maybe like the archangels as well. I don't know, guys. All right. Well, he's his own asteroid. I don't know which one. Let me see. Okay. I know I can't spell, like, okay. It's fixed stars, not asteroids. Aldebaran is Michael for the east. Regulus is north for Raphael. Antares is west for Uriel. And Fomalhaut is south for Gabriel. When like people tend to say that Antares is the negative one. The heart of the scorpion in Scorpio, which that will bring us to the next topic of discussion. Fomalhaut associated. Okay, this star is the constellation Pisces Australis. Regulus is heart of the lion. Oh, so back to that. So with the window thing, okay, let's just finish that part. With the window thing, it's talking about courage and stuff, okay? And then we got this whole lion theme. The lion's mane is what helped him, and then he became brave, or in theory, that's what it would be leading to, right? I mean, he seems like I don't know, in the interview he was saying he's still not really brave. He doesn't like being around people and stuff. He just, like, through a screen. So, yeah, I can understand that. I don't really like it either, and I've been pushing myself out of my comfort zone because I've been heavily abused my whole life. And then he was saying something about how, like, he didn't understand just from liking a video how somebody, or a picture, how somebody could do that to him. And then just texting someone, and it's like, I literally spent years and years getting beat on for random people just texting me randomly. One time, somebody I hadn't talked to in years texted me a smiley face at 1 a.m, and he, like, fucked me up for it. My kid's father. So, if he is an incarnation of him, which I suspect, because, like, he dresses the same as him, he's like has all the same like talents and skills, and it kind of acts like him. He would be like a way better version. Like, don't get me wrong here. I'm not, and I'm not trying to put anything on anybody. Like, that's not their story. But it just seems like from what I've experienced, that he would be definitely an emanation. Even Rion said, who went up into the upper dimensions, I think he even said that he's pretty sure that that's because they showed him, like, they have this device that shows your energetic signatures where you could see, like, your other incarnations, and he already said that he's pretty sure that that's him. Yeah, that it's one of his incarnations, okay? And Rion would be another one. So Um, all right, and then he brought up Tyler Durden, which that was my screen name on High Vibe, was the real Tyler Durden. I'm all about that shit. I just thought that was interesting. And then he brought up What Dreams May Come, which I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like he said when he went to the other side, that's what it was like. And I had seen that movie very recently, and it was just like, what the fuck? And I felt like I was like that girl that committed suicide, the wife that committed suicide, and she was like trapped. Like that's how I was feeling for a long time. I think that's it from that interview. Oh, okay. And then, so with the lion thing, then he brought up how like all this lion symbolism came into his life, and I just found that so interesting because like we got the Lego thing, and then I was told like I'm the moon and he's the sun, which again, I'm not trying to put any story on anybody or say that I believe this. This is what I was shown by spirit or told. Okay. I personally am detached from all this and I don't care, okay? So, especially when it's not being reciprocated, like I'm so not about that. And this is gonna be it after this. We're done. And then in the news there was an article, the Alexander the Great head, the head of the statue was found. I think returned to Italy. Let's see. As of April 2026, the United States has returned a stolen 1st century marble head of Alexander the Great to Italy. And look, it kind of looks like him too. No, luscious. Okay. I'm not gonna go there. But isn't it crazy? Look, his eye is like missing. Is it like is that the same eye too? I can't really tell with people with the cameras, like which eyes on him is his left eye or his right eye, because it's like opposite. Like for me, this is my right eye. This is my left eye. Okay? I don't know, like when people are on their cameras, whatever. So I don't even know which eye is which. But anyways, and he is the lion or something, which I didn't know. Okay, the Great to Italy among 337 looted artifacts. So like after I got back that seedling tray, this happened like the next day or something, which is crazy because like all of a sudden everybody's getting their shit back. And I love that. It warms my heart. It pleases the dark Sith Lord. Alright, the sculpture previously located in New York was identified by the Manhattan District Attorney's Office as stolen. So somebody was probably, this is connected to him, I feel like. And somebody was probably doing some dark fucking shit on him. He's a sculptor too, isn't that crazy? That man does everything. And then I just found out from this interview too, he was in culinary school. So all those messages about a chef, I mean, I've seen that he did cooking videos, but I didn't know he was actually, like, a fucking, like, he went to school for it. Like, Jesus. But then again, okay, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. All right. The sculpture previously located in New York. Marking a significant repatriation effort aimed at returning looted, ancient, or illegally traded art. Was that a crow? Traded crow. And it was in New York. Isn't that interesting? Carabinieri. And I find it so interesting because Italy seems like they're like really doing the right thing here. This is reminding me of Archangel Gabriel too, because I remember quite some years ago somebody was saying Italy was flooding a lot, and somebody was saying Archangel Gabriel is crying and that's why it's flooding. So, yeah, there's something there with that as well. I'm not really sure. Hold on. Alright, and see, Alexander the Great was often associated with the lion, both as a symbolic representation of his courage and a direct nod to his claimed mythical ancestry, while not commonly referred to as the lion in the same way some medieval knights were. The lion metaphor and imagery were deeply linked to his persona. The lion skin Hercules. Alexander claimed descent from the mythical hero Hercules. Oh, and isn't that interesting? Because remember, the one reading I pulled said a being that must be found at all costs, and it ended up being a centaur. And I brought up Hercules' trainer and how my middle son's behavioral assistant that he had was training him at the gym, which I wish we still had him, because I don't remember how to use any of the equipment, so I can't even, like, go work out. The only machine I know how to use, last time I went there, it was out of order. I think they made it out of order, though, because I couldn't work out, because I had the pain going on, because, that douchebag was doing black magic on me, or baneful magic. The one that had the seedling tray. Anyways... who famously wore the pelt of the Nemean lion. He frequently donned a lion's skin helmet or cloak to symbolize his link, portraying himself as a new Hercules who embodied the same strength and bravery. Yeah, and he was saying in the interview how, like, he has serious nerve damage in his arms and stuff. And the doctor put some kind of device in his arm and was like, I don't know, like, whirling it around or something, and, like, whatever he did, the way that he responded to it, it was, like, inhuman. Like, he's like, I don't even know how you, like, his shit was so fucked up, he's like, I don't even know how you're able to move. Like, so... I mean, to survive what he did, like, that's crazy, right? A famous, though possibly apocryphal quote attributed to Alexander states, I am not afraid of an army of lions led by a sheep. I am afraid of an army of sheep led by a lion. Wow. After conquering Egypt and his official royal titles, he was referred to as the Lion, great in might, who takes hold of mountains, lands, and deserts. Divine birth legend. Ancient legends around his birth include a dream his father Philip II had. Oh, Philip. Isn't Philip is Prince Philip from Sleeping Beauty, where he sealed Olympus's womb with a signet ring engraved with a lion, suggesting a fierce kingly offspring. He sealed Olympus's womb. Wow. Okay. There's something there. The famous fourth... What? I don't even know if I had the cards to pull on that. I don't know. I have this Events Oracle deck in front of me, and it pulled, like, Thanksgiving in the reverse. It's reminding me of, like, the Native Americans getting scammed or some shit. Like, because, like, all of these artifacts and stuff, like, I feel like they should belong to the descendants, but it's, like, the soul signature. So, like, if, for example, if he really is, like, the soul signature of this person, then, like, that person should get these artifacts. Which, you know, I feel like if all these... Okay, we got all this sirens going off and, like, but it's like good sirens. It's not like bad ones. And there's like this kind of honking, like, burp, 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 like ding, ding, ding. I feel like, you know, if this World Cup stuff, like on the ethers, is finally finished and like we get to move on to the other side and start like a new timeline, hopefully all this stuff will get remedied and sorted out fairly and how it should be. But, you know, we'll see. Bold strategic military leadership, yeah. I mean, this freaking Deadeye is like a legit genius, in my opinion, from what I've seen. I'm not trying to kiss his ass or fangirl him, trust me. Like, no thank you. I ain't doing that to nobody. I'm just being honest. Alright, and then what else we got here? Oh, and in the article I originally saw, because I couldn't find it again, Italy was complaining about more stuff belonging to them that hasn't been returned. It made me start thinking about, in the sense of people, because then we got this prisoner of war thing, right? And I know that in my ancestry, for example, I'm mostly Italian. Like, let's see. Alright, so, and, like, here's the thing, with the Italy thing, I find it so interesting how, like, they're, like, the only company, well, I feel like these countries really are, it's just, like, all run by companies, businesses or whatever, which is why I chose to get educated in what I'm trying to get educated now, because it's my weakest topic is business, honestly. So I wanted to actually, like, get educated in something I'm not good at. So, anyway, I found it interesting how they're the only company, whatever you want to call it, that was showing such response to this awakening that I feel like I kind of kicked off with, because, like, once I started, like, because I have, like, the Neptune, and apparently, from what Leo King was saying, like, Neptune's, like, the leader, or has been the leader for the past 20 years, but he's saying now it's, like, not anymore. I was like, okay, whatever. I was like, okay, cool. But anyway, so, like, once I start purifying myself and actually trying to step into my role and stuff, all of a sudden I start seeing all this stuff being reflected in the world. And Italy enacted some law about, like, animals, like, treating animals, like, if you kill an animal, you'll get criminalized for it. Now, I don't know about, obviously, like, livestock and stuff like that, but I think it was talking about, like, you know, like, other animals. I didn't really look into it too much, because there's just been too much going on. But we're going to try to stick on topic here, at least to some extent. Otherwise, this video is going to be 7 hours long. Nobody's even probably going to watch anyway. Alright. So, we got European 98%. Oh, so I guess I'm mostly Austrian now. German. I'm mostly German, Belgian. Oh, Belgian's 1.9%. This is a new one. Yeah, they changed this a lot. I'm Swiss, Southern Italian, 27%. So I'm mostly German and then Italian. They keep bringing up Germany in the news a lot. British and Irish, 26%, at least for me. They keep bringing it up. English, 19.7, Scottish 2.9, Irish 2.7. My Irish used to be like 20% or some shit. Now they made it like 2%. Nordic, Danish, Ashkenazi, Jewish, Slovenian, Greek and Balkan, Bulgarian, North African, Arab, Levantine. Oh, now they got rid of Native American. Are you fucking serious? I had like point zero Native American. Now they got rid of it. Okay. Y'all are done. I don't like them. That was the only one I liked. No, just kidding. I don't really give a shit about any of this, so. Hold on. Alright, I'm like trying to find it in my Google Photos because I know I screenshotted it, but I'm having a hard time finding it in there. But it says here on the bottom, a recent screenshot indicates 0.1% Indigenous American heritage. You were identified as a descendant of Amanda John Van Tassel through a DNA circle. Yeah, my Native American stuff is from like the 1600s, so obviously it's like really not going to show up, and they were indoctrinated into society. But I just find it interesting that when I'm getting all like, you know, sharing my ish with everybody, then they all of a sudden take it down. It's been there for years. So this is my tree. So this is my mom's side. I don't have money to pay for this, so I wasn't able to like continue like to figure out more stuff. I don't really know anything about like my mom's dad's side. I just know he was like in the mafia. So here, this is where it goes. Caddo Nearest Wyandanch, and then tenth great grandmother, 1603 to 1659. Long Island City. And the thing, it's saying she married him, but in the records, apparently they were never married. I have a ton of, like, screenshots and stuff from this. I posted them on my Instagram a while back. But I'm not going to go over that today. It's just too much. We're already at an hour. I'm exhausted mentally. That's not what we're doing today. I just want to share that. All right. What else? Alright, so anyway, when they're complaining about more stuff belonging to them, I'm wondering if it has anything to do with, like, people, you know? I feel like, personally, like, I'm from Ireland, which I've said before, because, like, when you play my voice backwards, it sounds like Irish, at least when I did a while back, which kind of brings us to the next thing, which would be... And again, this is going to be the last time I bring this up in my videos, unless it, like, really gets necessary for me to talk about it, because if something happens from the other side or whatever, which I highly fucking doubt it will. It just feels like dead energy there, you know? I was feeling real alive and pumping and shit, but then I was just, like, totally, like... But the dream I had was interesting, but, like, it was also very fishy, which we will get to that as well. So the episode of Near Death Diary podcast, they went to Bel Air, which that was in my dream. So, you know, think of what you will about all of that. I don't know. Okay? And then, so in that episode, there's a part where they're listening to the ghost box, and then all of a sudden somebody starts talking backwards. And then they, like, replay it later, and then it was saying, like, something about tarot cards and shit, which in my dream, Ryan was showing me tarot cards, which I thought was really fucking weird. And then, you know, Spirit was telling me to tell about the dream yesterday, I guess before they aired the episode, but I chose not to because I was like really negative. I was feeling really negative. And honestly, it doesn't matter. If you believe me, believe me. If you don't, I don't give a fuck. Alright? I think I've shared and shown enough crazy shit at this point. If you don't believe me, you're a fucking idiot. Like, straight up. You're literally a moron. It's like that song, if you deny this, then it's your fault. The God's in crisis. Yeah, that song. I posted it. It's in my posts on YouTube. Okay. It's a good song. Alright, and then what else? Wait, this is I thought this was a news article. Hold on. Oh, look at this. U.S. denies Iran struck a military vessel during new effort to reopen Strait of Hormuz. Oh, maybe that's when I did the scissor thing. It was me, guys. It was me. That was me. I did that. United Jet hits truck and light pole on approach to Newark Airport. Yeah, y'all aren't allowed to siphon from me anymore. If that's what's going on here, because it seems like that's what's going on here, because it's just all syncing up and lining up. If it is, you're not allowed to do that. And you're not allowed to just invite anybody into my fucking space, okay? So, like, clearly y'all ain't doing a good job. Clearly you're not doing a good job. Okay? Because I'm fucking miserable. I feel hella drained, hella violated. I know I'm deeply connected to the earth, regardless of any specifics of Stargate title ship or whatever, okay? And so the earth feels very violated. I could sense that when all I did was touch a river rock, and then it was like boom, 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 like, put it down. Lead by example, bitch. Like, put it down. These creatures have taken enough. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to catch up. Or don't, I don't care. That's up to you. Okay, so alright, so what are we doing here? What else? I'm gonna check off all this stuff. Okay, we're like halfway done with this list. Okay. Next thing I have on here to address was the gloves thing on the Umbrella Academy with the last season with Klaus. Y'all, your interpretation of what happened in my real life was a little odd, but I do have OCD to an extent, and I guess it definitely came out. I don't know. So, like, throughout my life, it's like either, like, I became, like, a hoarder and just gave up on cleaning altogether, because I just, like, I think that's what happens, like, when you have severe OCD, is, like, if it gets too out of hand and, like, you can't, it goes from one extreme to the other. Either you're, like, psychotic about cleaning, and, like, wow, or you, like, don't clean at all, and you, like, hide, like, in a corner, rocking. So that's kind of like, you know, it's kind of like what was going on, I guess, at a point. But I feel like I'm definitely way more balanced now. I stay pretty well on top of my shit. I don't go crazy. If I do go crazy, I end up in a massive pain. I really can't do too much, or it fucks me up. I can't laugh too much. I can't cry I really can't cry at all. I could barely laugh without coughing my brains out. I have emotional asthma. It's like I have to stay balanced. Like I literally am born to be like a stabilizer. Like I have to. It sucks. It really sucks. But hey, somebody's gotta do it, right? It is what it is. So anyway, the thing that happened was like at my last awakening, I went through the whole thing that I've explained with the trust card and the burning of the trust card, and then like the whole incident. We're not going to repeat it again. If you know, you know. And then like, you know, the Psalms 91. And then after that, I kind of transmuted all that shit into like rage. Or not, I don't know if we call it rage. It was like controlled rage, where I took a little mallet and I like smashed my TV. I was like, fuck technology. And then I smashed my little clock, which it didn't even break or do anything, because I was like, Salvador Dali, like fuck clocks, fuck time. And then I took my prayer beads that I was inspired to make by Robert Sheehan's book, by the way, and I fucking chucked them in my closet, again with the closet shit. And then I took a bunch of my books and I fucking chucked them all in my closet. I threw my fucking TV in there. I chucked that shit in there. I just fucking threw everything in there. I was like, fuck you, fuck everything, fuck this world, blah, 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 blah. Then I spent a lot of time crying on the floor. And I had put gloves on because it was like I was reenacting the scene from Shadow and Bone. The character Kaz Breaker has like an issue with like people touching him. It has something to do with his brother and drowning. And I have a lot of shit in my family with drowning going on. I've shared some of it. There's like worse stuff. And anyway, so there was like that really spoke to my heart and stuff like that. And then also it was like the whole giving tree thing, where like I had experienced so many times people siphoning off of me, people getting blessings just from being my friend or something. It seemed like it's like I've said this before, like somebody out, they would be my best friend, or I'd have a crush on them, and then all of a sudden they become like the most popular person in school or the richest person or whatever. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And it like happened so many times. It's like, I want to say like the Midas touch kind of, but anyway, it made me like with the gloves thing, that's kind of like what it was. It was like take this away from me, please. And I think God kind of did in a way. But now actually that brings me to the dream, which is what I kind of figured it all out. Okay, because I was shown like this technology and stuff. So oh, and then I also wrote here though, before I get into that, was like I found it interesting this, because I got this got brought up for me because of the interview with the Deadeye interview, because he was talking about how he couldn't even like, he had such bad neuropathy, he couldn't even like put his fingers through his son's hair, and he couldn't do like anything, he couldn't hold his girlfriend or like anything. And I just could relate to that, okay? Like I could relate to that on many levels. And I think I know at one point, and when I used to be on his Patreon fairly regularly, talking to him in the kind of the beginning of all this, until I ended up deleting the Patreon, because I was like, I felt like I was being siphoned from again, and I was like, I can't be giving anybody money. I gotta cut out all my subscriptions to anybody I suspect that's against me, and like any type of money that I'm giving anybody, and also kind of to protect them in a way, because I don't know, it's like a whole big thing. So then I deleted like Patreon stuff, so that stopped. But then I went back on there one time, and he was like in a golf cart with like Cody, and he was like drinking alcohol, and I was like, what the fuck, what is this shit? I had no clue what was going on, but I was like hella annoyed. I just felt like he was setting a really bad example for people, because I was seeing so many people responding to what I was trying to set an example for people to it was during the last Mercury retrograde, and that was a adjudication period, and it was really important. I was trying to like get people to like fucking step on board here and level up or whatever, and then, you know, and then he was doing that, and I feel like he's a huge leader in the community, and he was doing that, and I was like, why are you doing that? I was like, you know, we're in a spiritual war right now. Like, literally, we're in a spiritual war. It's on the news. It's a holy war, okay? Like, I think you know, whatever. The narrative is just like, it's literally telling you. And then I was like, you know, we're in a spiritual war. Like, what are you doing? Like, alcohol is, like, pretty bad to be fucking around with during times like these, especially when you're a leader. I get it, though. Like, he's, like, you know, superhuman and shit. Kind of, you know, I feel like I am, too. And, like, I can do certain things, and it doesn't affect me. Alcohol, it depends. It depends on the day. It depends on the alcohol. It depends on if I ate anything. It depends on who's hexing and cursing me that day. Shit like that, okay? But, like, with anything else, I've never really had a problem with. I will say that. It enhanced my senses. But, people certainly have had a problem with me, though, regardless. They have a problem with me no matter what, though. But anyways... So, you know, I'm not saying that I'm not trying to control anyone or say he can't handle himself or whatever, but I had said to him, like, you know, we're in a spiritual war, right? And he's like, yeah, I'm just doing this for the gram. And I was like, what does that mean? Like, because I know right before that I had said, I had divulged? Is that the right word? I had just revealed the identities of Rion and Leo King, like, to the public, as far as, like, how I knew or perceived them from my children's father and his cousin David, okay? So, I didn't know if he was talking, whatever, I don't, y'all think of that what you will, I don't give a shit, okay. Alright, and then, what else? Then he was talking about Japanese knotweed and idea about invasive species not being utilized properly. That made me think of the, that bug. Not the kissing bug, it's the other one. With the red on it. What the fuck's it called? Let me see, hold on. I don't know, I can't find it. It's not the kissing bug. Oh, is this a kisser? Is it an assassin, maybe? No. I don't know, it's not coming up for some reason. See, this is shit I'm talking about, like... One is deadly, one is not. Maybe it's an assassin. No. Let me see.
One of these bugs can kill you. The other is completely harmless. Can you tell which is which? I'm in a swamp in North Carolina searching for some of its hidden secrets with the Wildlife Brothers. This habitat is absolutely insane, and we've already found some of the top-tier creatures this environment has to offer. But while we were hiking onto another trail, Harrison spotted something incredible.
Oh, dude! Wait, box elders?
Let me see. They look like them. Wait, no, the body's wrong. What is that? That is...
Oh, wait. Kissing bugs?
That's an assassin bug. Those are kissing bugs.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Alright, you want me to...
Alright, maybe it's an assassin bug, I don't know. Oh yeah, see, so this is the guy, Hardcore Hermit. I don't want to click on his live right now. No. Wait. I wanted to show you guys. I guess I can't really see all the titles all the way. Here we go. Destroyer, River, Castle. Is this what it was? I thought it said Red River. Yeah, it said Red River of Death. Where is it? I know it said that. Cherry. He posts a lot. Oh my god. The only problem I have with his posts, I can't hear him. His mic is so low, which I found so funny. Trump was making a joke about it, I think, because he was talking about Russia, and this guy's like definitely Russian. He even said one time like, "Don't start shit with Russia," or whatever. I know he's from Canada, but like, or at least that's what I think he is from. Where the hell is it? I know I've seen it on here. Did I pass it already, maybe? Alethea is what I was wanted to name if I had a daughter. It's the goddess of truth. Y'all better not steal my fucking name. Y'all stole Seraphina. I shouldn't have said anything. Whatever, I'm not gonna have any more kids anyway. But don't steal the name anyway. You're not allowed to. It's a sacred name, and if you do, you're fucking gonna get hexed and cursed, bitch. Mark my fucking words. I'm tired of people stealing my shit. Oh, it's in the ethers. I just, tapped into the flow. No, you didn't. You're a thief. Dream thieves and all. Dude, I don't know where it is. It said Red River of Death. Where the fuck is it? I know it said it on here. This shit pisses me off when I can't find it. Maybe it's on his other channel. Yeah, it might be on his other channel. Whatever. We're wasting time here. I don't know how much time I have left here. It doesn't matter. It definitely said it, though. Alright. So, back to the invasive species. So, like, with those bugs, they kept telling everybody to kill them. And, like, I did not want to kill them. And I refused to kill them. And I was thinking to myself, like, maybe they could actually be our ancestors and stuff trying to raise the vibration by incarnating as these bugs and trying to raise the vibration in the area, and that's why the demons or whatever are trying to tell everybody to kill them. I don't know. It's just a little theory I had, but I know these bugs, though, they were like supposedly they were like infecting the trees and like causing trees to die. So, but there's always a reason for everything happening, right? I don't know what the reason is, but I like that he talked about that, because I talk about shit like that all the time, and I really love that. Trying to find the benefit in something that's coming off as negative or whatever. All right, and then another thing I want to talk about was a topic spoken about in class about healthcare. The teacher had asked, like, what would we do? I don't think I talked about this, but I'm going to bring it up again anyway, even if I did. The teacher had asked, like, if we had any suggestions for how to improve healthcare or health insurance and stuff like that. And I was saying how it should start with, I'm pretty sure I did talk about this. I said how it should start with education, like educating people on, like, in schools and first aid, like CPR, first aid, foraging, And then also nutrition is one I forgot to mention, but like nutrition and like how to prepare food that's healthy, how to figure out what your body needs, that kind of thing. Like, they don't teach stuff like that. That's a huge fucking problem. You don't teach people how to survive, they're making them dependent and weak. You want a strong nation, stop making everybody so weak. How about that? There's always going to be survival of the fittest regardless. There's always going to be natural selection regardless. Like, it's all bullshit anyways. Whatever. But that's how it should be, you know. Like, they need to start. It starts with the children. It starts with education. It's common fucking sense. I don't know what the problem is here. Alright, next thing is this guy that looks like Chris Pratt, like a emanation of him. And I posted him on my posted him on my page, but this guy, he's been pissing me off. I've always really liked him, but then a couple times he said some shit that like really rubbed me the wrong way. When I first started watching him, it's like he was I was having really bad intrusive thoughts but it wasn't like, I didn't fully understand what was going on. It was some kind of entity that was like constantly tapping into my fucking Merkaba and shit, which Intuitive Heart whatever talks about. And I didn't understand that, and I thought I was just like fucked up in the head and all this other stuff. And a lot of it was like racist stuff. Some of it was like when people were like gay or like coming off as gay. And this entity or whatever was like talking mad shit about this guy. It was really pissing me off because like I felt like because he's psychic, and I was like thinking like, okay, because he was literally responding to it as if it was me that was thinking these things. And he like went off and was like, you know, just if someone's fucking gay, who cares if they're gay, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, but I felt like it was directed towards me. I could feel the energetic hatred towards me. Alright, so then I tried to buy a reading off of him, and he just ignored me, just like everybody, which is the main reason why I don't really like I don't really care for Deadeye that much, and Cody and all that, because, you know, it was really hard for me to like send in that poem I wrote, and they just flat out ignored me. I found that really hurtful. I honestly don't care. It's fine. I understand they probably get a lot of stuff, but at the same time they were saying like they don't get anything. I remember them saying that, like, oh, we barely get any stories and stuff like that, and you know, so I just found it really offensive. I get it, it was weird, but like that's kind of the point of the show. But I try not to take shit personally. That's one of the 4 agreements, which people are trying to like bring up. The Intuitive Heart person was like, don't take stuff personally. And then that book, the 4 agreements, was on the desk of one of my advisors at my school, which I found really funny. I was like, oh my god, I don't own that book, but I have read it, the 4 agreements, before, but I don't remember. But, you know, I don't try to take things personally. I look at things scientifically the best I can. That's how I stay grounded. So I try to look at it from, like, different perspectives and different viewpoints. You know, I don't try to feed into, like, shit. And I try to stay away from negativity as much as I can. It's hard because it is there. And you can't just ignore it and say, like, oh, you're just too negative, you're toxic. You have to face both sides of the coin. And then, you know, evaluate, okay? So, I would say there's definitely more positives about them two than anything else, you know what I mean, from what I could see. How I've been treated, not entirely sure. I don't know if it was purposeful ignoring to drive me to just share it myself, which is what ended up happening. And I'm pretty sure I waited like a couple months before I even, like, I tried to give time, see, you know, I think I'm very patient. For the most part, I'm very patient. I've been having to be trained to be patient since I was real little. You know, there was a point when I was stuck in fight or flight mode, and I was becoming very impatient, like, with dealing with, like, endless drama from, like, my children getting possessed and shit, and, like, stuff like that, and, like, people just fucking with me all the time. I wasn't being very patient, but otherwise, I would say, and since then, since I've gained back a significant amount of control, I would say I'm pretty fucking patient. Okay, anyways, so this guy, you know, I emailed him for a reading. He ignored me, so I was like, whatever. I kind of stopped watching him as much as I was, and I was like, fuck it. And then every so often I would watch him, and I wasn't getting any bad vibes. Then recently I came across this devil's shoestring thing in my Voodoo Hoodoo book, so I thought maybe it would be a good idea to try to... There's a whole... It's layered, my thought process with the devil's shoestring. It's personal and it's layered. It's not just what was in the book, and it's not for that purpose. The purpose of devil's shoestring is to trip up your enemies. I think you're supposed to bury it in a graveyard, or I made that part up. You're supposed to bury it. I don't know. I don't remember what you're supposed to do with it, but I was saying that if you bury it in a graveyard, it can act as a replacement of somebody's ashes, or like their bones, or whatever you want to call it, their body, if you weren't able to give them a proper burial. And so I ended up doing that. I ended up ordering it, and I ended up doing that. Not in a graveyard, though. Like, I made my own graveyard, okay? And after I did that, all of a sudden, I tripped. I was like, this is weird. And then the next day, this dude did a video, and he said, you know, I figured out this superpower I have where I can, like, make my enemies, or anyone I perceive, an emanation of themselves appear before me. And I guess he was like he's in Egypt, and he was like in the outside in like this shop square or some shit, and he said this woman appeared that he had beef with because she slighted him and he felt offended by her or whatever. I'm assuming the woman is me from coincidence, or I don't believe in that, especially not in this circumstance. And he said he was able to make her trip by just going like this and making her trip. I was like, what the fuck? And I've talked about this before, where like God will bring your enemies before you, and like I guess also like your allies, it depends, like emanations of them. And like with the spiritual court type shit and stuff like that. So I don't really know what that was all about. I don't know what I did to this guy, but then it brings me to a video that... Okay, it brings me to a few things. Okay, first of all, he posted another video kind of recently. I don't know which one it was, and I'm not going to look for it. Y'all can look for it if you really give a shit. Where he said he had to do this type of thing again, and he brought up the tripping thing, and he said it was like more of a universal type thing where somebody violated his boundaries again, and he had to do something. I don't know what he did this time, but I've definitely been under attack. So this motherfucker is like attacking me for no fucking reason. And I had nothing but love for this guy. Like, not like that, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I liked him, or I like him. I like watching him. He brings me comfort. He's brought me comfort in my worst times. Like, when I was, like, crying in my closet when, like, my dad came, or whoever that was, with the Easter bags, and they wrote, like, S on there, which was creepy, and it was, like, in, it definitely was not in my dad's handwriting. These fucking people. Hold on. I don't even have any dentist appointments coming up or anything. Like, these people should not be calling me. I'm so antisocial right now. But anyways, so he was one of the videos or shorts that I watched when I was in there, and I was like not okay. And then back to Deadeye, he was saying something about that was the only place that brought him comfort was being in a closet because there was no windows or anything, and I found that really interesting too. I was like, holy shit, because that's one thing the GhostCom Pro thing kept bringing up was like the basement matters, the attic matters, the closet matters, look out the window. I'm like, look into the mirror, look out the window, like the okay. So anyway, so like I don't know what this guy's problem is. If you're watching, like, please stop. Like, I don't do baneful magic to anybody. I really don't. I do like mirror, like return to senders. The only thing I've ever done that I would say is like slightly baneful is I buried a corrupt gateway. What do you call it? Corrupt gateway keeper Minecraft figurine in my makeshift graveyard. That's literally like the only thing I've done that I would consider baneful in any way. But at the same time, I don't think it is. It was a rebalancing of the scales is what my intention was, because these corrupt gatekeepers are what's fucking wrong with this world. So it's the guards, it's the soldiers gathering up the subjects, gathering up the test subjects. It's the guards guarding the prison doors, the guards guarding the gates for the corrupt tyrants. That is who we need to be looking at, not Tara, a mother of 3 in New Jersey, who ain't got nothing but love for people, who's getting shit on all the time, okay? So there's that. And then also I kept getting the message of like bald-headed guys keep coming up in readings, and this guy's like kind of bald, so maybe he's one of them. Like there's the Alex Grainbar douchebag, Jeff Bezos. And then Intuitive Goddess 333 did a message, like one of her most recent ones. I added it to my playlist, and she was talking about some woman influencing men to go against me because they want me to be a lesbian, because either the woman's into me, which I talked about with the whole Olivia thing, how towards the end she was like hitting on me, and then I guess she kind of emanated and popped up as the Sophia character. I'm not really sure, but it was weird. And even even like Tammy, the one that ended up like was my best friend since I was 5 years old, ended up like to my kid's father, and then getting by him while he was wasted. He said he had whiskey, and she was like forcing herself on him, which he would tell me all kinds of fucked up details and shit about stuff, and so I believed him with that one. But regardless, like, the fuck? Like, she came on to him and stuff, but it's just, she just makes it worse, like, but anyway, she would, like, hit on me and stuff. I remember, because she was, like, bisexual, and, like, one time she, like, she was like, I gotta fix but we were, like, partying in my old apartment in Beaverbrook that I've talked about before. I had, like, a strobe light that my grandpa got me, and so it'd be, like, bumping like a club, and I mean, we'd all be dancing in the hallway and like jumping around and stuff, and like she's like, Tara, I gotta fix your boobs, they're popping out, and she like stuck her hand down in there and like grabbed him up, and then she said to all the guys, I touched Tara's titties, and I'm like, so like, she definitely was like had that going on. And then anytime I'd be like hitting on a guy or something, she'd be like, Tara, stop, you're embarrassing yourself. And then she'd go and like get with the guy that I really liked, like fucking hoe bag. So yeah, so there's definitely been that energy going on for me. And then, I struggled for so long thinking like, okay, all these men hate me so much, and like maybe I should just become a lesbian. So it's kind of like I fell into like a little trap, and then I started watching like porn and like trying to trick myself into becoming a fucking lesbian. But, you know, I didn't, but it's just like, ugh. I am definitely straight. Like, if I was a guy, I would be into girls. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I had a dingling, I would be into girls, but I don't. So that, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's where that is, because I am attracted to the natural, you know, the vajayjay and the dingling, okay? I don't know how else to say it. All right. So I've always been very uncomfortable, like, talking about this kind of stuff. Like, you know, people used to call me, like, prude and, like, make fun of me. And then now I'm called a WHORE, you know. It's just crazy. All right, and then this last part here, we're going to do at the end. Hopefully I remember. Oh, so the relation with that and this dude is like maybe some chick was getting in his head about me or something. I don't know. Or he knows me from a past life. Or because there's this whole weird thing with Chris Pratt, right? And he kind of looks like him. I know at one point he even responded to me when I said that or something. I don't know if I said it in the comments. Maybe I did. And he was like, I don't think I look like Chris Pratt. He's like, I look more like a Dr. Seuss character. I was like, yeah, but you kind of look like Chris Pratt. Alright, what else here? Okay, now I'm just going to tell you my dream. It's going to make me feel really uncomfortable sharing this, but I don't care. And then, I'm probably going to get off of here. Hold on a sec, though. Alright, so before I share this, though, I wanted to say, this person that they were saying I tried to unalive Donald Trump. I want to see if that's a setup or whatever. They're probably not even a real person. Malefic taker from those of the light. Okay. Who are they, though? They're not the host. They're not a ghost. They're not a teenager. They're not a teller of secrets. They're not a recent immigrant. Who are they? They're not a florist. They're a butcher, okay. Damn. Warehouse worker. Dermatologist in reverse. I don't know. Maybe something's wrong with his skin. I don't know. Oh, maybe he's like he's wearing somebody's skin or some creepy crap. Oh, this is something Spirit wanted me to share. A while ago, I spun the globe, and in between Ascension, UK, and Natal, Brazil, is some type of headquarters. It might be gone by now, because it was a while ago, but maybe you could find, if you need it, to find some kind of trace of something. Again, we got Thanksgiving in the reverse. Okay, I'm gonna stop procrastinating here. Alright, so I had this dream where, this is really embarrassing, but it will teach you guys something, so don't take this personally. It made me feel really uncomfortable when I woke up. But it is what it is. Okay, so originally I was in like some house and I was like running from some people. And I ran upstairs and I was in these like bedrooms. I guess there were like bedrooms of like maybe like the kids of the house or something. And I had to like go from, I locked the door behind me. I went in the one bedroom. I had to go into the other one because I was trying to like get outside. I looked out the window and it was a long drop down. There was no roof out there, so I couldn't like go out that window. So I had to go into the other bedroom. Went in there. There was like a lock on the door that was like a Lego. Like you had to like lock it like a Lego. It was so weird. And it didn't really work. But then I could sense that it was like whoever was after me stopped. So I'm like, okay, I got some time. I'm going to try to get some supplies. So I'm like looking around the room. I was really cold, which ended up being IRL. My room was freezing. And so I'm like trying to find like a blanket or some shit I can bring with me or like something. It was just I guess it was a little girl. All her stuff was just way too small, and she didn't really have shit in there. She didn't even have a closet or anything. Just like a dresser. It was like barely anything. I was like, what is this? So I don't remember, but there was like a rooftop outside that window, so I was gonna be able to jump down. But then all of a sudden now I'm at this other location, and it's like this kind of like, I want to say rundown apartment, kind of dingy, almost like from I don't want to like talk shit or whatever, but like just what I've seen in like movies and stuff, like Asian households. I've seen really beautiful Asian households, don't get me wrong, but I'm talking about like the more, I guess, lower income, the vibe. They smoke inside a lot. The walls are kind of stained yellow a little bit, and like, you know, it's usually got like yellow kind of lighting going on, and not real decorated. It was kind of ghetto, and I'm in there, and it's like I'm in this living room, and it's got curtains around it, almost like how I described my oldest brother had in the basement the other day when I brought up that story about Kiss from a Rose, how he had put his room downstairs in the basement and made it into the corner of the basement, and he put sheets up as walls. It was kind of like that, but there was like a bed in there, and I'm in there. And the main person I've been talking about this whole time, I'm not going to say their name, was there. And he was like, okay, wait, which part happened first, though? Okay, so that person was there, right? This is before we went into that area. And then the Ilya guy that I've brought up before, who's like the only kind of like real boyfriend I've had. Spirit doesn't want me to stop talking about this. Okay. Yeah, that motherfucker hexed and cursed the shit out of me. I know he did. He was there, and I'm just gonna say DE, okay? DE was like, you know, this guy's a problem. And granted, I'm taking this with a grain of salt. I don't know if that was actually his emanation or his spirit. It could have been somebody wearing his face in my dream. It could have just been my subconscious desire or whatever. Who the fuck knows? I don't really know. I can usually tell, though, but it's like, I don't know. Alright. So he was like saying like, you know, like, this guy's a problem, which he has been getting brought up a lot in my energy and stuff, and I'm like, I don't know like what to do about this. So then he kind of like went off into the background, right? And then there was a lot of people there. I think like my kids were there and stuff, and it was just like very weird. And it was like we kept getting bombarded, kind of like this whole reading. I've been getting bombarded with like energies coming at me and like distracting me and stuff, and me feeling assaulted. It was kind of like that. And it was like, leave me alone. And like that's kind of how I felt my whole life. Like anytime I vibe with someone or I really like someone, there's always these like bombardment of outside energies that come in and disrupt. I could be outside having a conversation with somebody and we're just having a great convo. All of a sudden, fucking 8 people come out of nowhere interrupt the conversation and then take the person I'm talking to away and then go make them king of the world or some shit. Like, I'm dead ass. Like, every time. And I'm like, okay, thanks. Like, I can't even have, like, a moment of fucking fun or enjoyment in my life. Like, thank you. It's actually absurd and it's really pissing me off, just so y'all know. But hopefully, since I figured this shit out, hopefully it will stop. I don't know. We'll see. There's drilling at the mechanic shop across the street. So anyway, so then there's this table, like a dining room table next to this, like, weird-ass living room, bedroom thing. And it's, let me see here. How can I show it? Alright, so I don't know if y'all can even see this. Okay, so this is kind of like what it looked like. So this, where are we pointing here? This right here is the table that I'm talking about right now. This is a little gate. This is another little gate, but it wasn't. I ended up having to take this gate and put it over here because, like, all the kids and people that were interrupting kept fucking coming in here. And I was like, oh my god, stay the fuck out of here, you weirdos. And then there ended up being somebody sitting over here and someone sitting over here, which we'll get to in a minute. But this table it was a round table, and then it had, like, drawers on the bottom part. It's like a bar table kind of, and it had drawers around all the sides of the bottom base. And the one drawer had all these knobs on it that were like different kinds of knobs. And then all the other drawers had the holes for the knobs, but their knobs were missing. And he was looking at it and he was like, who did this? Like, they did some shoddy shit. And it reminded me of, like, Ilya, because everything he did was, like, shoddy, and, like, he didn't give a fuck. Not everything, but, like, a lot of the stuff. And so I'm not trying to throw shade or be a bully or a jerk, okay? It just is what it is. And honestly, he put my safety at risk and my children's safety at risk by not doing shit properly. And yeah, whatever. I don't care. I'm over it. Okay? Woo. So then I lifted up the top. There was like a top of this base, like under the tabletop, in between the tabletop and the base. There was like it looked kind of, I have a dining room table that's similar to what I'm describing, and it's very weird, but it's cool. But it's weird. So anyway, there was like a top, and then like I opened it, and then there was all these knobs in there, because he was like, why are the knobs all different? Like, who did this? And I was like, oh, I think it's supposed to be like that, because it, like, in here there's all these different size and shapes knobs. So then I was like, he was like, okay, I'm gonna fix it. And then he starts doing it, and I'm like, I don't think you should, because like I could sense whoever's on the other side, not by the two other tables, but on the other side, like in the, I guess you call it the living room area, there was an adult with all these kids. It was an African American lady, is what I pictured her as. And it wasn't Intuitive Goddess or whatever. I know I bring her up all the time. It wasn't her. It was like somebody else. And anyway, so I think I know who it is, but I don't remember her name, and I'm not gonna go look for her right now. I really don't care. But anyway, I think it was like her house, or it was like her house and the other person that ended up showing up at the tables that I'm gonna talk about in a minute. And it's like we weren't really welcome there, or it's like, you know, it just felt weird. They were like kind of assholes, and then they were like really invasive in my energy, And I was like, I don't think you should do that. I don't think they want us to do anything like that. And he was like, no, I'm going to do it anyway. And then he did it or whatever. And then all of a sudden, me and him are like in the closed-in area. And we start like making out. And he's like sucking my face, like sucking on it. And I'm like, oh my God, like, what are you doing? And it was like it was just kind of weird. Okay. Next thing I know, actually, I honestly don't know the exact sequence, okay, but we ended up doing the whatever, okay? And then getting interrupted because all these people just barged in. And so then all of a sudden the direction is getting pointed to these people at the tables. At first it was at the table that's like the littler one that I drew here. This littler one. And it's like this blonde-haired lady that looks kind of like the celebrity card on the Neruda. I just pulled her and some dragon came up, which is interesting because it's going to make sense in a minute, dragon. And it kind of looked like the celebrity card, like this blonde, like really like hot lady. But she was like, not like one of those dumb blondes. I would say like, actually, I don't want to throw shade at people. I'm so fucking sick of doing that. It actually makes me feel sick. Sometimes it can be cathartic though, don't get me wrong. But like, I've been doing it too much and I really don't want to do it anymore for a while. I'm taking a fucking break after this video. I might put out some shorts, but probably not. I'm not sure. We'll see. Unless something like significant comes up that I like have to share. So anyway, she said some shit like for him to go to her, like, come here. It was almost like she was all of a sudden on a raft, like one of those tubes, like floating in water all of a sudden, like trying to be all alluring or some shit. And then I was like, please don't go over there. And then like I didn't say anything, but I like said it. And then he was like giving her the side eye, kind of like, what do you like, what do you want? And he didn't go over there. But then all of a sudden, it's like she turned into this Asian woman, like this middle-aged Asian woman, like from that movie Everything All at Once. And then that she was at the other table. It was like Beauty and the Beast kind of moment with the witch that comes to the castle, and then she turns into the beautiful maiden. It was kind of like that, but almost opposite. It was weird. And then she's like, I wouldn't continue doing that if I was you, like, or you're not allowed to continue doing that unless you comply with my stipulations or whatever. And I was like, what is this? And then I was like telling him like, don't go over there. And then he's like, no, I got this. And he like goes over there and she like hands him almost this like phone. It's like a ancient, almost like a Flintstones looking thing. But it's small. It's like a little cell phone, but it looks like a Flintstones, like a stone almost. And she's like, if you get a call on here, you need to answer and help. But if you overdo it, if you exceed your limitations, you'll lose all your money. And then all of a sudden he comes back, and then all of a sudden it's like coins, but it's like stone looking coins. And I have a bunch of them, and they're like, there's like 10 of them or something. And they're like these little devices. And it's like almost like a transponder or some shit. And I have them. I like open this drawer that it kind of appears. It's like this drawer. And mine look kind of fried. Like they're overused, right? And it's like that. It kind of explained to me like why I'm broke all the time. Because it's like I answer these calls like every single one. And I just go and I go and I go and I don't fucking stop. Like, that's how I am. Once I start doing something, I have a really hard time stopping and, like, taking breaks and shit like that. Like, I just keep going and fucking going and going and going and going and going. And I don't stop. And I think that's been one of my biggest problems. But anyway, I think what the thing was is I had my partner, and I'm not using partner romantically here. I guess it could be, but whatever, was the Ilya character. I think he bought into that contract with this lady that's like somehow connected to me. And again, Rion brought this shit up when he went into the upper dimensions. He said it's a bunch of Asian people, which the dragon thing, right? And they're the ones controlling like the 360 cameras and shit like that. You know, and like I have Asian ancestry and stuff. Pretty sure it showed up in my thing. So I know I have a connection there or whatever. And so there, it's like these transponder things. So this is like something I guess you could sign up for in the ethers to kind of be like a superhero. It's like, you know, you get these devices and then it connects to your team. It kind of felt like it was something about like your team or like whoever else is signed up for this program or whatever it is. And if they need help, somebody responds to the call. But you're not supposed to overdo it because then it will fuck you up. So I guess like, you know, in order to like be with me or something, you have to do that. I don't know, like to be with somebody who's on that path. I think like more people need to sign up for that, and that's like a huge problem why this world sucks so much, because people aren't consciously aware in the ethers, and they're signing up for like demon contracts and doing fucked up shit. Or they're just, you know, stuck in the mall world, or like what I call, it's like clown world, like the It clown world, the bad It clown world, like the killer clown one, where I've seen it. It's like a circus. It's almost like there's a tube, like a centrifugal force kind of tube. It's like killer clowns from outer space, like with the cotton candy like tube. I don't know how to explain this. And I was getting chased by this like giant clown. I like climbed up the side of the building and like went in through the attic, and I heard him saying like, "This is why I like you. You think like me." Like, cause I always like, I'm like a ninja or some shit. I can figure everything out. I could like escape from everything. And so I like dropped down and I saw everything from the top, and it was like layers, like levels with this central fuse cylinder. And there's all these people, like families. Like I remember seeing like a man and like his kids, and they're like in a daze, like playing these carnival games. And they're all like trapped in this like freaking thing, trance state or whatever. And then it led to this airport, like when you check in at an airport. And that Mitchell guy I brought up was there, and in this dream he was like my brother. And so he was like stuck there, sitting there trying to get through or something, but he was like sitting, like staring at the screen, because it was like you had to like fill out something on a computer or some shit. And I was like, just come with me. Or no, what did I say? I talked to him for a minute, and then I was like, you know, I'll come back for you, but, you know, just stay here. Like, I'll come back for you. Because I had to get the fuck out of there, because this dude was chasing me. So then I got through. I don't know how. I just got through. And then, like, jumped on top or something, or, like, went around the side. I don't even know. And then I ended up going up and, like, through some other levels. And then all of a sudden I'm in this hallway, and I see all these like minions of clowns coming out, like it's like minions coming out in a row, and I'm scared. Like I feel scared. I'm like, oh fuck, like they're gonna fuck me up. Like if they get me, I'm fucked. So I stick to the shadows, and then I wait for them all to leave. I needed to go that way, but I couldn't. So then I turn to my right, and there's a door, and I'm like, okay, go in this door. Go in that door. There's a guy with an AK-47. He's like a guard. and he points it at my head, and then he looks me in the eyes and like scans my eyes or some shit, and then he's like, okay, come with me. So I'm like, okay. I was kind of like almost like trying to tell him telepathically too, like, you need to let me go, like. And so, but I was like scared. I was also scared at the same time. And then he brought me outside. It was like almost like we were in a house all of a sudden in Alaska. And then he like brought me outside, and we're on this deck. There's like snow outside everywhere. It's really sunny. And the Mitchell character is on the deck, tied up, and he's all fucked up. And at this time, this is after he got ejected by the 3 sisters or whatever, and then in real life he fell off his motorcycle. He got in a motorcycle accident, got fucked up, and he was on pain pills and shit, and he was starting to get all aggressive and nasty on camera. And I think I went in and tried to save him because it was upsetting me, because I thought he was a really cool person, and I was like, you know, this is fucked up. And I didn't want to see, if I could do something to help someone, I'd try to do it. It's like the fucking transponder thing, I guess. I don't know. So, anyway, so, like, I was like, you know, the chieftain or whatever, it was like, a Native American, like, chieftain came out, and I, like, talked to him, and I was like, you know, what are you guys doing to him? Like, they wanted to, like, take him, like, they didn't like him either. And then I ended up convincing them to let him go with me, and then he led the way. The chieftain led the way off the deck, up this kind of like driveway area, up this hill towards the sun, and I'm like holding the Mitchell character with like my arm, and he's like limping, and then that was it. Okay, so I don't know how I just got on that. Fuck. Oh, I forgot. So before the weird apartment, the Asian apartment with the Asian lady and the transponders, the other house I was at, in between that and the Asian house, I was on some sort of mission with DE and FG, his wingman. I don't want to say his name. I'm tired of name dropping. Nobody else does this shit, except for me. It's like embarrassing. I'm trying to be Lois Lane here, guys, and also a tarot reader or whatever, okay? I wear many hats. Alright. I wasn't stalking. Okay, what did I write here? We're on some sort of mission. I don't know. Like, I wasn't stalking him or, like, desperate as far as I could tell. Because, like, it was like I was like behind him, almost like following him, and I remember feeling like this motherfucker never pays attention to me. I remember thinking that in the dream. I was like, he like acts like I don't exist, which is fine. I'm used to it. I've had it my whole life. It's fine. I don't care. And I really like, it would feel so uncomfortable now if like he did say something. I would be so embarrassed. But I feel like it's like way too late for that anyways. I don't know. It's this whole situation is just so weird. But it's not the point anyways. Like, this isn't supposed to be personal. It's like all this is supposed to teach everybody else about these things and how to like navigate their way through all of these situations so that they can, you know, get out of all this shit. Okay. So, anyways, I just remember him, like, looking back at me at one point, and then he finally noticed me, and then he, like, kind of smiled at me. And then we ended up at that house, okay? I don't remember anything else. I know there was some other stuff, but I don't remember it. Okay, and then one of the other things, too, was, like, I don't know if I want to give details about anything else. It's like, he was just being kind of like, First of all, like I said, I don't know if this was somebody wearing his face in the ethers. Okay, I'm not sure. All I know is, okay. And then, it's just funny to me. And he was saying, like, he was basically kind of like, he said like, oh, like he really enjoyed it or whatever, but like he might do it again, like maybe 10 more times or something. And I was like, only 10 more times? Like what? Like you're just gonna be like, this is like one of those one night stand kind of fucking bullshits? And he's like, okay, maybe 20. And he was like laughing. I don't know if, like, whoever, this emanation, whatever, was like just joking or whatever, but I didn't like that. I didn't like that joke. It just, you know, kind of maybe confirmed, I guess, for me in IRL, like the energy is just this fickle energy that's just fucking around, kind of using me, or like it's like a CIA operative kind of situation where, because, you know, like I was saying with the podcast, how he kept saying like, there's been many times the Hellfire Boys have stopped an asteroid from coming to Earth. It's kind of like, feels just like the setup kind of thing. Like he's just obligated or something. Cause like, I think that like, and I'm not saying this is true. This is theory. This is just theory. But I do think that the Ilya character was definitely up to no good. I think I have a lot of effect on shit in the real world from the ethers. I know I do. And so he was tied to me and it was causing a lot of fucking problems. He like wanted to marry me and stuff too. So yeah, so there was like something, there was a lot of stuff there. And I always felt like he was like a fucking military like motherfucker as well. But I also was told like he was actually a female pretending to be a guy, like in the upper dimensions or whatever, he's actually a female. So that could be with that whole like a chick that's like a lesbian trying to get me to be a lesbian thing, could have came from like his energy. He did act kind of feminine too. It was like a little bitch. Like, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm really not. But alright, and then the last thing I want to do before we're done here is talk about if you guys have seen the show Once Upon a Time. I named my youngest son after Killian, the Captain Hook from that show, who ends up, I'm not gonna give it away if you guys want to watch it, but I love him. He's the best. Which my son made a bracelet. It's so funny. He wrote Killian is the best on there. Let me show you guys. Where is it? Oh, where is it? I don't know where it is. It's not there anymore. It was just over there. Whatever. It says Killian is the best. I thought that was adorable. We're trying to teach our children self-love. Right? Anyway, I want to know who's the Regina George. Or no, it's not Regina George. That's from Mean Girls. But it's funny, her name's Regina as well. The evil queen. She's the evil queen in the show. And she's the one that puts the boring-ass cloak on the fairy tale world, the enchanted forest. And I want to know who the fuck is that bitch in this reality. Alright, so first of all, if she's with anybody that's watching right now, what is she doing? Inspecting. She's watching. Of course, she's probably watching me right now. Save, collect. She's collecting something. Collecting souls. Enter. She's not allowed to enter. Haha, bitch. So it'd be so she's not a loyal retainer. This came up the other day as well. She's not unwaveringly dedicated to another character. They don't provide support. Not at great personal risk or sacrifice. Yeah, obviously they would not do that. And I just heard like a ringing coming from like behind my head. It was like kind of on my right side, and it felt malefic. I don't like that. Archangel Gabriel, please enact code Mr. Brown and whatever that was. Self in reverse. I know you ain't talking about me, Spirit. You know, I did ask one time, like, who's my higher self? And it came up as, like, Queen of Wands in reverse. But then I was watching, like, the Intuitive Heart chick, and she was saying, like, there's these men that slept with the divine feminines. Because I know I'm not a fucking karmic. I love people too much. I have too much of a fucking brain. And, like, you know, like, I'm all about humanitarian shit. Like, I know that's not me. Like, someone like Olivia, for example, literally told me, like, I tried getting her to, like, start doing shit with me to help the world. And she's like, Tara, I don't want to do that. I don't care about that stuff. She was saying she wanted to become a phlebotomist or whatever. It's a biological mother in the reverse. We got nephew on the bottom of the deck. Nephew comes up a lot. But so anyway, so these men like sleep with the divine feminines, and then they take their energy and bring them to some corrupt female, and then the female dresses herself up in the divine feminine energy and then goes up to the upper echelons or upper dimensions, okay? And then hijacks the stargates and all that shit. Childhood nemesis. The main childhood nemesis that I had's name was Susan Wiseman, Kanagi or Kanagi from Skillman. She was a fucking bitch. And there's some other chick named like Jules, they called her Jules. We also have here paternal grandfather. Maybe one of you watching paternal grandfather. My paternal grandfather was a quiet dude who just watched the news and nature shows and went on walks a lot, ate a shit ton of raw garlic, collected bird feathers, and was stingy as fuck with his money and was a millionaire. He saved his money so much. And he stood up for me one time when my dad was being a scumbag. But other than that, he like really didn't even talk. So I just don't think that he would really... Maybe he knows something, though. He passed away. So this person is a Scorpio, South Node, 11th house. So y'all can look that up, alright? Then we got here... What is this? You're being manipulated. Great. Your theory about what's going on behind the scenes is correct. You need to trust your intuition. Okay. Need for innovation pertaining to design and R&D issues, i.e. marketing, campaign, designing a product, and research. Okay. And then let's see what this vocation is of this Regina. And y'all can pull your own shit on this person. She's not an inventor, so she's not original. She doesn't have original ideas. That's mostly the main thing with karmics and Jezebels and shit. They're not, they don't have access to creativity. They're not creator beings. They're entities. Butler. The only thing that's coming up for me with Butler is Cody from when he was carrying around the and I think Cody is probably like one of the sweetest people on the earth, but then it's usually like the last person you used to suspect, like Kevin Spacey in Usual Suspects, which was what like people kept telling me, like my mom is like the Sophia person, like she's came off as this like peace-loving hippie that you would like really never suspect, even though she was an alcoholic and she got a little hostile and violent at times, but like Honestly, when you have little fuckheads for kids, like, who the fuck wouldn't? A botanist in the reverse. Okay. But anyway, when he was carrying around the tray during the Mothman expedition they did, the charcuterie board tray, before Deadeye was like singing "Kiss from a Rose" in the tunnel, that shit had me dying laughing. I'm like, yo, he's got like a fucking butler walking around with him with a fucking charcuterie board on a ghost hunt. Like, what is going on right now? But yeah, publicist. I guess I'm kind of being a publicist. Any press is good press, even if it's from me. An ophthalmologist? I don't know what that is. Alright, we want Regina. Who's Regina? Who is the person that's cloaking the society right now? That's fucking up our enchanted forest. We want our enchanted forest back, Spirit. Please. NASA and a publicist. So NASA knows. Not actually a space authority. Not actually space astronauts. Career criminal. Publicist again. Career criminal in reverse. Publicist. I keep splitting it on publicist. What the fuck? Maybe somebody's publicist is this chick? Is the entity? See, the thing though with this type of entity is they body jump, so that's what makes it hard. But I think they have like a main. How many bodies do they inhabit, Spirit? 2. An astronaut in the reverse. A gastroenterologist in the upright. Gastroenterologist is somebody that deals with somebody's like organs and stuff. Doesn't DE have a lot of intestinal issues because of all the surgeries? An occultist in reverse. Oh jeez. Alright. Alright, let's call judgment on this bitch. My Libra first house deacon gotta be good for something. Or my first deacon, Libra. My moon in Libra, first deacon. Gotta be good for something. In the 7th house. Come on. Call judgment. Oh, I'm hearing ringing. I'm hearing interference. They don't want me to do that. I'm just gonna split it. Not speaking equals difficulty. So we're not being complicitly silent. It's in reverse. Complicit silence in reverse. Evaluate your role. Not speaking equals difficulty. Well, maybe no. Like, okay, so we say this is already enacted. So one of y'all's is being silent. You know something. You're not fucking saying anything. Stop being little bitches. Surveillance exposure. Secrets revealed via cameras, logs, metadata, or monitoring. Small apology. And that's in the reverse. So that means it's already in the it's already been enacted. Small apology. This is in the upright. A minor but meaningful gesture repairs emotional harm. In the show, once upon a time, Regina ends up becoming friends with everybody and like becomes a fan favorite. But obviously, like, this bitch is still on the evil side because look at what's going on. I don't know. I feel like things are getting better, but I really don't know. Ancestral court in reverse. Your lineage receives healing. Inherited injustices dissolve. So that's already enacted. And then we also got judicial awakening. Court mediator or authority delivers a surprisingly fair ruling. In reverse. That's already enacted. Oh, jeez. Vulgar fell on the floor. Something we don't know. So I'm kind of vulgar. Vulgar display of power. Some Pantera. The album, Vulgar Display of Power. It's a really good album. Attentive. We're being attentive today, okay? And then... But yeah, just to finish things off, I'm going to do the fear cards, and then we're going to be done here. I'll do some fortunes, angels, like we've been finishing stuff off. And we'll be done here, okay? Drinking out of other people's glasses again, coming up. You know, somebody I think keeps... I have a spirit dog, and they keep drinking out of my glasses. Because I keep smelling like dog breath. Or maybe like, you know, because I said like, I think I'm supposed to be kind of like Klaus, like from Umbrella Academy. Like, I think they kind of, that character like came from me. Just due to a lot of facts lining up. So when I made him in The Sims, it's kind of like I made myself marry myself in a way. That's like true self-love, right? That's like some basketball player married himself, which is kind of hilarious. But maybe I'm a werewolf. Because I made him a werewolf for some reason. Moths. Somebody's afraid of moths. Okay. And what else? What else we got? Ghosts in reverse. Someone's afraid of ghosts in reverse, and the devil is blocking. In the blocking position underneath. It like literally slipped out there, and he's staring at me. Oh my god, so creepy. Look at it. So creepy. Ghosts in the reverse. And the devil's staring at me. Ugh, that's like the energy I felt when I heard this motherfucker cackling at the bottom of my bed a while back. When I was in the thick of it. With the curator and his buddies fucking graping me all the time. We also got spiders, accordions, and politicians. I'd be scared of spiders too if you're on the wrong side of fucking the tracks. Spider Grandma ain't no one to fuck with. Spider King ain't nobody to fuck with. Accordions in reverse. And politicians. This politician card is so creepy. Look at him. So freaking Jeepers Creeper, man. Alright. Oh, and then this Fallout Nuka Girl officially releases July 2026. So I was thinking, like, I met my kid's father July 24th. And I know they say, like, when you're in a fucked up relationship with somebody, it takes, like, the same amount of years that the damage was caused for it to be repaired. But it could also be, like, a little longer. So technically it would be, like, 8 years, like, the day he died was December 29th, 2017. The day we met was July 24th, I think 2009. Yeah. I think so. Yeah. Because our first son was born June 10th, 2010. So. I found out on my 20th birthday that I was pregnant, which is October 2nd. So yeah, so maybe there's something there with that. I don't fucking know, guys. I'm just sharing. Sharing is caring, you know? I just find this stuff interesting. I like to share this stuff. People can put it into their own lives, whatever the hell's going on with them. Maybe it'll make you feel less lonely or whatever in your own head, because I've had to learn how to entertain myself by myself for a very long time. You came too far. You can't look back. You have a divine, true, unconditional, romantic love counterpart, resonancy match, and in tune in the reverse. So yeah, I'm just gonna be alone forever. It's fine. It's fine. All right, let's or maybe that's for you guys. I don't know. I don't believe that though. Anyways, I just think it's saying like it's not in tune right now or whatever. All right, pick a number between 1 through 5 if you want your fortune. Otherwise, bye. If you're still here though, like. Might as well stay for it. Alright, number 1. Pause the video if you need to. Decide still. Today is the day to focus on one thing from beginning to finish. Okay. Number 2. Accept the next proposition you hear. Unless it's from Regina, please don't. Actually, if you gotta be covert, it's fine. Just as long as you come out the other side. Number 3, don't take life too seriously. Laugh and smile at it once in a while. Number 4, adapt to circumstances in order to make progress. Number 5, change is inevitable except for vending machines. Okay. Alrighty then. Alright, let's do angel cards. Pick a number between 1 through 5. I might do tarot. I'm going to do one tarot card pull for y'all too, since that's the Bel Air thing. They each pulled one tarot card. Just find it interesting. Alright. Number 1, you got beauty. You are beautiful in every single way. Words can't bring you down. Yeah. You're welcome. Number 2, you got beauty as well. Look at that. You're all just so beautiful. Aww. The angels love you. Split the deck on vision. You got the vision. You get the vision of beauty. Okay. Number 3. Enthusiasm. Enthusiasm. Woo! Number 4. Whoa, you got 2. Obedience. Understanding in reverse. So, Spirit's asking you to try to be a little more obedient to the Spirit. And try to be a little more understanding. You're not being very understanding. Or Spirit's not being understanding of your obedience, maybe to somebody you shouldn't be obedient to. Something like that. Maybe you're being obedient to a Regina George type character. Yeah, a Regina George or the Regina, the wicked stepmother from Snow White, I guess, is the one. Yeah. I don't know her, whatever. Her name's Regina, yeah. Okay. Number 5, inspiration. Inspired actions, okay? That's what's supporting you in the angelic realm at this time, alright? And then we're going to do a quick card pull if we don't get cut off, because then we're going on 3 hours here. I don't know how much storage I have on this phone. Okay. Oh, jeez. So pick a number between 1 through 5. Number 1. And I'm not gonna go by the pamphlet or anything, or even traditional tarot. I'm just gonna tell you what I think it means. You can look it up yourself. Number 1, you got 5, 6, 7, 8 of cups. It was in the reverse. They look really sad. Let's see, look at the picture. They're like telling her bad news. Hold on. Alright, so basically saying that you're focusing too much on the glory in a situation. It's a love situation. It could be your family. This is 2 parent figures kind of like giving bad news to their daughter. They just look sad. They look really sad. There's no glory going on in whatever situation you're involved in. You need to search for the victory, not the glory. Or even the beauty in it. Number 2, you got Queen of Swords in reverse. Being over analytical, cold, callous, overly critical. We need to take the gloves off. See how she has a glove on? That was the other message I wanted to bring up, because Elected the Living God brought that up in one of his last readings, was like gloves off. And just before that, was making potatoes. I'd sliced up some potatoes. I put olive oil on them and like some seasonings, and then I went to mix it, and I was gonna get gloves, but then I was like, I don't know where they are. I don't feel like doing that. So I just took gloves off and just went ham in, and then I heard the wheel turn, like the Wheel of Fortune. I hear it like turn in my house. It's really weird. So yeah, she's got one glove on, one glove off. Just take off all the gloves, okay? Stop being cold. And it's funny, it's on her right hand as well, which is the giving hand, which is the main hand where it's like when I was doing the axe thing, like trying to cut off the siphoning. That's crazy. That's really interesting, actually. Alright, so that's your message, is to... Maybe you have someone in your life who's like that. You need to get rid of them. Or it could be you that's like that. Was that number 2? I don't remember. Shit. Is that number 2 or number 3? Fuck. We got 8 of Cups. That one, and what was the first one? I don't know. Alright, whoever the next one is, we got King of Wands in the upright. So, this, this cockroach, I don't know what he was doing in the movie. He looks like he's chilling. He's like, hey, what's up? Like, I'm chilling. Usually Wands is like fiery, like magical AF. Cockroaches, like, they're indestructible. They could survive nuclear fallout. That's why he's just chilling. He's, like, in his power, just chilling. He's good, So that's good. Keep that up. And that could be somebody you're involved with that you have in your life. So that's a good thing for you. Next person, I'm just going to do like a couple more. I don't know if I messed up the numbers already. I'm so bad at counting. Oh, wait, let me do this. I just have so much to share, and it's like really hard for me. Like my brain gets fried after a while. I'm sure I'm frying anybody else. Anyone, if you're actually following along, you get like, I wanted to say 12,000 tarot credits. I feel like you should. Yeah, definitely you should get like 12,000 tarot credits at least. Page of Wands in reverse, you got 2. Page of Wands in reverse, so like the magic is backfiring. This chick that's looking mad shady and like she was out to get you, her magic is backfiring. It was fire magic. See how she's got the book and she's like trying to conspire against you? Also, like, a message is not coming in from this person. And then you got 6 of Cups, which is like the Tifereth. It's beauty related to love and family and stuff. So like the magic, this malefic magic is backfiring. That was directed towards your family, maybe towards this old guy. Maybe this old guy was the one that was doing it, because this is who they saw before they died. They went to the store and then they end up dying. I can't think of their names right now. The main characters, okay? It's like literally my favorite movie. Well, one of them, but top 5. I just can't think of it right now. But anyway, it's closed. Remember how I was talking about all these old people popping up? He's looking disappointed. This is one of those old people that are trying to siphon off of you, and their magic's backfiring, and it's not working, and they're sad about it. Yeah. Okay. We're not buying what they're selling. We're just not. We're not buying what they're selling. All right, next. We got 6 of Wands. So this is 6 of Wands on top of 4 Pentacles. Okay. Mercy. So magic related to like money is working. It could also be saying you're using magic to try to catch these people that are spying on you, that are being annoying and intrusive. Yeah, the Magician with this douchebag is underneath that. So you're trying to be defensive, use defensive magic. It's working to fight against these idiots that are spying on you and trying to tap into your shit without permission. Your shit's working. Yeah, there's no glory for them, for their bullshit. And Beetlejuice is coming for their ass. Alright, this is the last one. I don't know if I went over. This is extra if I did. Okay. Judgment. Judgment is coming down on these bitches. Concealed motive. Someone's secret reason is about to surface. Stay observant. It's already in effect. Their secret motive. Yeah, it's a theory you have about what's going on behind the scenes. It's not correct. They're gonna reveal, though, what's really going on. You're being kept in another dimension in a stasis against your free will, and you're being used as a conduit. Yeah. You're being siphoned from. Somebody's fucking with you. What's on the bottom? Yep, you got these people. There's judgment on these people that are invading your boundaries. You're being shown mercy relative to your financial security, your security of your house. These people are trying to take your house away from you, trying to sell your shit before you're even dead. They're trying to sell your shit. It's Queen of Wands in reverse. Is not being shown mercy. Air magic. She's in mental anguish. This Queen of Wands in reverse that's trying to steal your shit. She's in mental anguish. The Emperor's coming for her ass. And he's coming for the King of Pentacles in reverse and the Devil in reverse. Oh no, and the Devil in reverse. I feel like the Devil in reverse is like worse than the Devil upright. For me, that's kind of how I read it. It's like it's not opposite Devil. Yeah. Yeah, there's not gonna be glory. The devil energy for this person that's sitting in this glory energy is gonna be lots of conflict to their money. Okay. Alright, that's the message that I have for you guys for today. I hope this helped. If it didn't, I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, that's it. That's what I got for you. Pay attention to your dreams. Bless your food and water every day. I call upon the archangel of the day, whoever it is, and I say, please, like today, Archangel Gabriel, please bless and sanctify any food and drinks my household and any allies I may partake in on this day / night. That's what I say. Sometimes I forget before I started drinking, or eating. So, you know, it doesn't matter. Just say it when you remember. And that's that. If you want to, or whoever you subscribe to, it helps. I feel like it helps. Sometimes, you know, you also gotta make good choices about what you're consuming. Try to cook and prepare your own stuff. Because whoever's cooking and preparing your stuff, a lot of their energy will go into it. So you gotta think about that. Alright? Alright, guys, that's all I have for you. Bye!